Join me now in listening to the psalm. Our text for today is Psalm 121. It is the entirety of the psalm. Listen now for what God is saying to the church. I lift my eyes to the hills. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. God will not let your foot be moved. God who keeps you will not slumber. God who keeps Israel neither sleeps nor slumbers. The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun shall not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. And the Lord will keep you from all evil. He will keep your life. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in from this time on and forevermore. This is the word of God for the people of God. Thanks be to God. When I was in high school, I went on a week-long trip to Alaska with my cousin's youth group. We went on this trip to do a few service projects, and it was on this trip that I learned how to put siding on a house, something that I still remember how to do to this day. Last week, I put in a maintenance request to get a light bulb changed in my apartment, but I do know how to put siding on the side of a house. It's kind of funny how life works sometimes. And on the first day of this trip, the youth pastor told us that before we started our service projects, that we were going to take some time to explore Alaska, and that we were going to go on a small walk out in nature. So we all loaded up into the van, and before you know it, we were standing on the bottom of an extremely tall mountain called Flat Top Mountain, which is pictured on the front of your bulletin. When he pointed to the top of the mountain and told us that was our destination, we quickly realized that the small walk was in fact a hike. And it was a hike that we were not prepared for. And of course, being high schoolers, we were all very dramatic about the situation. Most of us weren't wearing the correct shoes, and we didn't really have a ton of water with us. And of course, I personally was most distraught about the fact I didn't bring a hiking snack. About halfway up, we all considered giving up altogether on this unplanned hiking adventure. The author of today's psalm was very likely in a very similar situation to this group of dramatic high schoolers, about to climb a mountain that seemed impossibly tall. In fact, this psalm is considered to be a song of ascent, a selection of psalms written about the ascent towards the temple where people would pilgrim to worship each year. It is thought that this psalm is written at the start of this journey up Mount Zion. In verse 1, when the psalmist says, I lift my eyes up to the hills, he is most likely referring to this famous Mount Zion, which housed one of the most significant sites of worship and religious pilgrimage of its time. The journey that the psalmist was about to embark on was both a physical journey up a tall mountain and a spiritual journey as well. As one climbs or ascends this mountain, they turn their eyes and hearts towards God, the one who made heaven and earth. The question that the psalmist begins his or her journey with is a question that is quite simple. Where does my help come from? But it's also a deeply profound question. Where is the help on this hard journey? Where is the help in the midst of struggle? Where is the help when I feel like life has left me feeling out of control? Or to be more personal, where is my help when my health is failing? Where is my help when my dreams crumble? Where is my help on the nights that I feel most lonely? This act of seeking help, seeking guidance, it's an act that is deeply countercultural. We think less of those who need help meeting their needs, One is considered not good enough if they can't figure it out on their own. We think we have to have all the answers, that we have to have all the strength. It is deeply ingrained in our society that we are only strong if we are self-reliant, that we are only good if we can provide for all of our needs, that our place in society is based on our own accomplishments. But let's be honest for a moment. We all need help. Let me say it again, and I want you to really hear what I'm saying. We all need help. We can't actually do it on our own. We need to call in the backup once in a while. We all need encouragement. We all need rest. We all need someone else to teach us, help us, guide us. I need help, the psalmist needed help, and friends, you need help too. It's just how it is. Life is too complicated, the journey is too steep to do it by ourselves. As a professor in seminary would tell students, self-sufficiency is overrated. So where does our help come from? I love this image of the psalmist lifting their eyes to the mighty hill, the mountain that is one of the most powerful and majestic creations. The mountain that was the center of religious and political and social power. But is that the source of help? No. The source of help is the one who created in one single word, the mountain. The psalmist says, my help comes from the Lord who made the heavens and the earth. But don't we too turn our eyes to sources of power and majesty for help? All you have to do is visit a city like Atlanta or New York, and you're surrounded by our own societal mountains. Buildings that tower over us, reminding us of the wealth and power that the largest corporations have. Symbols of financial security in a world that often feels like the ones who walk amongst the buildings don't even have what they need. I think that if the psalmist wrote this today, he might say, I lift my eyes to the hills of Wall Street, to the skyscrapers in the financial district. From where does my help come? It's a different mountain, sure. It's a different kind of ascent to climb our ladders of success, our mountains. But the answer to the question remains the same, does it not? Where does my help come from? Where does our help come from? It comes from the Lord who made the heavens and the earth. There is a temptation to look to the mountains as a source of help, to look towards our own accomplishments, to look towards the security that the mountains of Wall Street offer. But remember, it is ultimately God who is our helper. The word helper found in this psalm can also be translated as guard, one who watches over, preserver. The word helper is an active word. God is not passively watching us, but God is actively helping us. God is the one who watches over us. God is the one who preserves life. God is the one who walks with us on the journey, who never leaves us. And I love this, who is our shade in the harshest of summers, who does not slumber nor sleep. The image that the psalmist uses of one who neither slumbers nor sleeps is an image that is rather tender. I'm reminded of the summer that I worked as a chaplain at St. Louis University Hospital. Day after day and night after night, I visited with families who sat with their loved ones in the hospital. And because I was assigned to the trauma floors, many of those patients were on the cusp of life and death. And you know, one of the things that I remember so clearly was the mothers. Mothers who sat by their sons and daughters' bedsides all night, rarely leaving, holding their hands, watching, praying. They did not sleep nor slumber, so their beloved child could rest, knowing that they were safe because mom was there. This is who God is. This mother who is deeply present to their child's suffering is the kind of help that no tall building, no amount of power, no amount of wealth, no amount of social influence can even come close to. What is the help for our journey? God is our help. God, who is the faithful mother of us all. She does not sleep nor slumber. God, who sits with us, who holds our hands, watches us, stays vigilant so we can rest, knowing that we are safe in the arms of our mother who loves us. And do not be fooled by this tender image. God, our mother, is also a fierce protector. In the book of Hosea, God is described as a mother bear who fiercely protects her young. The imagery is even kind of violent. It says that God, the mother bear, tears apart anyone and any being who comes between her and her cubs. Just like the mothers I saw who fought for their children in the hospitals to get the care they needed, God fights fiercely for us, for God's children, to get what they need. This is the God that keeps our going out and coming in, not just for this time, but forever. So friends, in this season of Lent, in this season that is a journey, may we turn our eyes to God, for it is indeed God who is our help. Turn your eyes to mercy, love, justice, grace, and the comfort of God, the one who created the heavens and the earth with a single word, but who is also the faithful mother, always showing up, never leaving our side, who never sleeps nor slumbers, so that we can rest each day knowing that we are loved by our mother, by our God. Amen.